everyone. It is our last day of this Thriving on Balance self-exploration. For our last yoga session together, we are going to do a restorative yoga session. Really allow ourselves to just release, replenish, and rest. So you'll notice I have a lot of things around me. So before you start this, go and grab every comfy thing you can find in your house. Pillows, if you have a meditation cushion or a restorative pillow, it's like a really long pillow, you can grab that. Grab some blocks, grab a blanket, anything that you want to have for this session, go get it now. If you want to grab some tea or some coffee, anything that's just going to make you feel warm. I always love doing a restorative yoga session in like a sweater and my comfiest leggings. So get all of your comfies and then come meet me back here on the mat. We are going to get started in child's pose. So we're going to take this child's pose in a restorative way. Restorative yoga is practice where you hold poses for a longer period of time, but they're poses that you can release into. So when we come into these poses, really make yourself comfortable. And if you're feeling uncomfortable, shift your position a little bit so that you can be comfy. So if you have some pillows, go ahead and take those pillows in between the legs. And you're just going to begin to shift yourself down onto those pillows and maybe take your head to one side or the other, whatever is more comfortable for you. And allow yourself to just begin to tune into your breath here. So I'm going to be setting a timer, so you might hear that. So don't think about the time. I will let you know when it's time to move, but allow yourself to get comfortable here. Kind of take a moment where you are. If it feels uncomfortable, shift yourself so that you're really able to fully release into this position. Close your eyes and focus on your breath. In each restorative pose that I take, I like to kind of do a scan of my body. And you really do want to find stillness. So if you feel yourself moving, I invite you to see if you're moving because the position of your body is uncomfortable. And if that's the case, go ahead and find a more comfortable position. Or maybe it's because stillness in and of itself is uncomfortable. And if that's the case, I invite you to try to release. Try to relax into this stillness. Scan your body. See where you can let go of a little bit more tension. And if your mind begins to wander, that's okay. See if you can bring your focus back to your breath. Take a nice deep inhale through the nose. Let it go out the mouth. Very, very slowly, as slow as you can, begin to walk yourself up, coming out of that nice, comfy child's pose. We're gonna move the pillows off to the side. We're gonna come down onto our back. So if you have blocks, those are gonna be the best case scenario to use. If you do not have blocks, you can use a stack of books and maybe place a blanket on top of them so that they're not as hard. You can even cover the blocks with this stack of books. Or you can just take pillows and use them just to kind of give your back a little bit of a lift. So go ahead and come down onto your back. Bring the heels in towards the glutes. We're going to just lift up as if we were coming into bridge and coming onto whatever part of the block is going to work best for you. So maybe starting on the lowest level, you're going to put the block right around the tailbone. So it's kind of like a supported bridge. You can also raise it up to the mid-level. I would maybe not raise it up to the highest level today. I would maybe just go up to the mid-level. And then from here, you're either going to stay here and just release, or you can begin to walk the feet out in front, really allowing the feet to just release here. Finding this opening through the heart, lifting of the hip, and settling into your breath. So if this is your first foray into more of a restorative class, you're finding it difficult, know that you are not alone. We don't often give our bodies this chance to just rest and release. We want to move. That's what makes us feel like we're doing things. But sometimes the rest is what our body is actually craving. It's what it really needs. Stillness and release. Breath is a beautiful place to start in your restorative practice, a place that can bring your focus back into this present moment instead of the mind wandering. Eventually, you may be able to find yourself dropping into how your body is feeling. dropping into your heart space. Dropping into who you are. Take a deep inhale and exhale. And slowly begin to slide those feet back towards the glutes so that you can press into the feet and remove the block to lower all the way down. And just let the spine rest here for a moment. Let everything decompress, settle. And very slowly rolling onto your right side and gently pressing yourself up into a seated position. From here, we're going to bring our legs out about as wide as our mat. So not in together, not out in a total straddle, just about as wide as your mat. You can go ahead and place your pillows in between your legs. You may find that you have to kind of add a little bit more height here. So you can use blocks, you can use a meditation cushion, just pile it all up so that you have a little bit of an incline with your pillows. And we're going to come into a forward fold. So just beginning, and you can even actually sit on a blanket here too to kind of give the pelvis a little bit of a lift. And then allow yourself to just fall over those pillows. Your knees can be straight, they can be bent, whatever feels good for you. And again, maybe this time taking your head in the opposite direction. In child's pose, we started on one side, so this time maybe flip to the other side. And just letting yourself rest on those pillows. Hands can be wherever they're comfortable, letting the spine and the neck go. If you want to come down a little farther, you can always move a pillow. And again, like last time, if you feel a little uncomfortable where you are, you can always shift. Just noticing why you're shifting. Are you shifting for stillness because you're uncomfortable in it? Or do you really need to just adjust? I'm really trying to find that place where you can release. think I wrote a little bit about this in the email for today, but when I was first really introduced to a restorative yoga practice, it was on my retreat that I was hosting in Costa Rica. And I was telling my co-host, I just feel like I constantly have to open my heart. I have to open it. And she finally looked at me and she said, maybe you're feeling like you have to open it so much because you really need to close it. You need to come into yourself. You need to do some folds. Because the opening, it wasn't helping. It wasn't making me feel better. And so we did so many folds and releasing just like this. And suddenly my heart openers were so much easier and they felt lighter. And I felt so much more released, relaxed. Sometimes we don't really know what we need until we try something new, until we give our body rest. Take a nice deep inhale and exhale. And slowly begin to walk yourself all the way up, taking those pillows, moving them off to the side. You can move everything off of your mat. We're going to lower back down onto our backs. And you might want to bring a block or even a pillow to the right side of your mat. So go ahead and lower down onto your back. We're going to take our supine twist. So here we're going to bring the left knee into the chest and then begin to let the left knee come over to the right. And this is kind of where that pillow comes in. Maybe letting the leg rest on the pillow and then letting the gaze fall out over the left shoulder. If you have a tighter shoulder, and often when we come into this position in a normal class, that left shoulder is always kind of up off of the ground. You can always take a block and just place it underneath the arm so that you're really able to release into this posture. A lot of times when we're in a twist like this, we're holding tension somewhere. So notice if you might be holding that tension in your bottom leg, your right leg. Notice if maybe it's in your jaw or in your forehead. Try to release the tongue from the roof of the mouth. If your mind is wandering, come back to the breath. Take a nice deep inhale and exhale. Slowly coming all the way back to center, rolling that left knee into the side or into the chest, letting the left side of the body just kind of release and relax, and then sending that left foot down to meet the right, and bringing the right knee into the chest. And then adjust your props as you need to. So maybe shifting the block over to the right side, taking the pillow over to the left side, and slowly rolling so that your hip is stacked. And then letting the right arm fall out to the right. Again, you can always use this block here to kind of place the arm on. You can always put a blanket underneath your shoulder as well, especially if the block might be a little too high. And coming into your rest here. Again, noticing where You may be holding on to tension. Notice if maybe there's a difference in how the twist feels on this side as opposed to the other side. Maybe it feels a little bit more open or closed. Maybe the neck feels better on one side rather than the other. I'm not judging the fact that one side is different than the other, but just noticing. Our bodies can teach us a lot about balance, because most of the time our bodies are not balanced. We have what we deem a stronger side and a weaker side. What I found is that our weaker side is often the side that teaches us those lessons of patience and forgiveness and acceptance and love. And yoga allows us to do things equally on both sides in a way that begins to balance our body. Eventually, the weaker side, what we deem as the weaker side, becomes stronger and begins to balance out the stronger side. And just like in our practice, we practice every day, that begins to happen. And that's what we're doing with our lives, practicing balance with small steps, small things, every day. To manage the things that maybe make us feel weak. Take a nice deep inhale and exhale. And slowly rolling all the way back to center, bringing the right knee into the chest, and then releasing it nice and slow all the way down to the mat. You might want to bring a blanket and cover yourself with a blanket for this shavasana. Really get all nice, cozy. Even if you would like to turn onto your side and take more of a fetal position for your shavasana, wherever you're going to be the most comfortable, make your way there now. And we'll take our final resting pose. Some of us don't know how tired we are until we try to relax. Then we realize we're exhausted. We may have lived with exhaustion and stress so long, it's become habitual. That doesn't mean we're bad or wrong or even off track. Many of us have deeply involved in activities, work, projects, and relationships we enjoy. We like our lives and the things we're doing. But sometimes we've pushed too hard or too long. Sometimes we haven't given our bodies adequate time to relax, to rest, to really let go. It's all right to take time out. Relax, refresh, regroup. It's all right to rest, even if we're busy. Rest often enough to keep ourselves replenished. Get in touch with your body, then stay in touch with yourself. Find out how tired you are, then let your body tell you what it needs to come back to life and love. Take a deep inhale through your nose. And exhale, let it go. Begin to feel into your fingers and into your toes, into your ankles, your wrists, your elbows, slowly drawing one knee into the chest and then the other, giving yourself a nice big hug, thanking yourself for allowing rest. And when you're ready, slowly turning over onto your right side, placing one hand on the ground beneath you, reconnecting with the earth. And then slowly pressing yourself up into a comfortable seat, eyes closed and hands at heart center. Take a deep inhale through the nose. And exhale, let it go. We'll bring our hands to third eye center, bowing and saying Namaste. The light in me honors the light in you.